So Rosh Hashanah is about one thing. It's not about Tshuva. Tshuva we have for Yom Kippur. We have the 10 days to prepare ourselves to say, I'm sorry about things, to apologize for people, and apologize for yourself, to yourself or to other people. But there's one purpose of Rosh Hashanah, it's the coronation of God as the King of the world. Not even the King of Israel. It's about the creation of the world, understanding that we are human beings, and anything that is not God cannot be perfect, and including this microphone. I'm going to maybe turn it around. And it really is about understanding how small we are and how big God is. Now, the concept of kingship is, of course, is a big concept. And tomorrow we'll concentrate on that. And my whole sermon tomorrow is about the comparing the royal family in England and what we just saw as a display, amazing display of royalty, for sure, as modern royalty can be, and what royalty from a Jewish perspective means. When we coronate God as a king, what does that mean? And if we did tomorrow meet the Messiah, because we pray for him every day, if he came, I don't know if it's she, but if he can, let's say, stick to the he for now, if he came tomorrow, he's a king. King David, right? It's the Messiah, the son of David. So do we want our kingship today to look like that kingship? I don't know. We will deal with it tomorrow. But what I want to deal with today is give a hint of what God, as our king, what is he saying to us? When Moses met God in the burning bush, he asked him, what is your name? And God had an answer, I will be as I will be. That was his answer. When God is our king, there's no prescription exactly what exactly it should look like. It would look like our voice. However we relate to God, God will be our king. God tells us that he speaks to us through the two cherubs on top of the Ark of the Covenant. So there's the voice that comes through people is where we speak to God. So when we coronate God as a king, it has something to do with sound. We see it again when God met the Israelites in Mount Sinai, and it says they saw the voices. This is when they realized God is the king. So it's something about voice, something about sound. We say the Shema, right? Shema Yisrael. So there's something about this. So this sound, there's a new sound that came through COVID, that came through Zoom. It's the sound of a community. So a lot of times and you heard it earlier, when people are not muted on Zoom, it sounds like it doesn't, right? Something does not, what?
Coordinate.
That's something not coordinated.
Discord.
Right, and some people really don't like it. They suffer, right? And we have to mute people. I have to say, I love it. I don't mind it. I think this is the real, and it's a new voice that came to the world. It's that uncoordinated sound of a community that wants to still be in one place. And it doesn't matter if they're in person or online or in the past or in the future. The last thing we read before Rosh Hashanah is always Parashat Nitzavim, and we always say that. God said, Moses says to the people, everybody is now standing here in front of the heavenly court, those who are here and those who are not here. And of course, we say those who are not here, they can be on Zoom, they passed away. But it has to do with the sound. The name of God that we pronounce Adonai is a unique sound. This teaching is, I don't know where that teaching comes, and I heard it in different contexts, and I don't think that we know the source of that teaching. But when we pronounce the word, the name Adonai, there are 4 letters in Hebrew, right? Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey. Now, if there's the Jehovah Witness organization, right? And they pronounce it. We don't pronounce it, but that's how they would pronounce those 4 letters. However, there are different ways to pronounce Hebrew. There are main 3 ways to pronounce Hebrew: the Sephardi way, the Ashkenazi way, and the Yemenite way. You didn't know the Yemenites have their own pronunciation. So if you go way back to that pronunciation, actually the Yemenite pronunciation, which is considered the closest to the original pronunciation, the word would be, I pronounce it just because we're teaching it, not because in the future when we read it, but it would, the mouth would not close, because the yud, ya, right, ha, hey, the vav, you're telling me, oh, but the vav, you close your mouth, but the original pronunciation of the vav is wa, wa. And when I was a kid in the Yemenite synagogue, that's how we pronounce the wa still. And then another hey that does not close. So really, it's a name and it's a unique word in Hebrew that does not close the mouth. It's a breath. It's Yah, Wah. It's the first breath of a baby coming into this world. Yah, right? Wah. It's the last breath of a person that takes the last breath. It is the breath of life. It's the sound of life. It is the sound that does not close the mouth. It is the sound of the community that speaks with no order. It's always there. Someone is muted, someone else is speaking. A community is always here. This building is always open throughout the year. That is the language that we speak with our God, is the unending voice. That beautiful voice. I want to dedicate a minute to those who are not here today. There are people who are on Zoom, but there's still people who are still part of our larger breath and conversation, that we remember them and we pronounce their names all the time. I'm sorry that the tour shows are not here tonight, but every year that I came here, from the first year, this is my 11th high holidays on this pulpit, incredible. But every year, since I began here, there were certain people that were always here. And one of these people was Charles Bogan, Nancy Bogan's, Torshio's father, who I had no idea who he was. He was a very familiar and friendly face. And he, for me, symbolizes the high holidays. When I came in and I saw him, because he wasn't here throughout the year, and I saw him, and his face told me this is a new year. And this year he passed away in June. And the things I learned about him were amazing. that he was a very talented engineer. He worked for the Pentagon. He picked up piano at 65 and became a great pianist, and he still had 30 years to play. It's not his eulogy. The purpose of this is really to say, for me, I feel this room now so closely that I see the people who are not here today. I see that the conversation, what Moses told us, I met God in the burning bush and God told me his name is I will be as I will be. I will, wherever I am, wherever your spirit is, this is where I'll be. And this room, I don't know how many people are here today because I don't count normally, but there are so many more people. There are so many more people in this room right now that I see that are still speaking to us. We speak about them. It's that unending conversation, that sound, the new sound of this year. So may this sound really keep reverberating with us as long as possible in this community. And as we coronate God as the King of Israel, that doesn't necessarily need the order of the British royalty. It is a different royalty, the royalty of hearing everybody wherever we are. Shana Tova.